Okay. Illinois, the land of Lincoln, the center of the United States, the fifth most populated state. Today I'm going to tell you a story about how Illinois, the home of so many great presidents and some of our nation's greatest leaders, became into so much debt. First of all, we have to tell the story about how Illinois got into debt. Illinois' growth was rapid in its first about 150 years of statehood, with Chicago being one of the most rapidly growing cities during the first part of the 20th century. With that being said, there needed to be a lot of public investment inside Illinois in order for the state to compete with other places throughout the United States and around the world in order to become a world-class place to live. And with that being said, there needed to be a lot of public workers in order to invest into the state. So with that, the state gave out a bunch of pension plans. So the pensions basically grew and grew and grew throughout the late 20th century. And then in 1995, Governor Jim Edgar, a Republican Governor Jim Edgar, decided to change the whole system. And according to the Chicago Tribune, it drastically reduced pension payments during the 90s and then increased gradually after 2000. But with that being said, it did not rely on the fact that the economy would keep on growing. Instead, it thought that the economy would keep growing at about a 4% rate, not understanding that there would be a recession coming soon. As a matter of fact, Comptroller Jim Hines' warning in 2002 basically said, look, if we keep on going on the path that we're going in right now with the pension system, with this pension ramp that Governor Edgar put in place, then basically our state's going to end up coming into a lot of trouble if the recession comes. And then sure enough, a recession did come in 2007. But before the recession, I'll get to that later, but before the recession of 2007, Governors Ryan Blagojevich continued the policy set forth by Governor Edgar with the pension payments. But Governor Blagojevich decided that it was a good idea to, instead of just keep on paying without any feasible way of paying, he decided to borrow $10 billion in bonds. Now, borrowing $10 billion in bonds gave a short-term boost to Illinois' economy, and it made it seem as though that the pensions were being paid down. But that indeed didn't actually not happen. And then, going back to my earlier point, then a recession came. During the recession, Illinois was one of the hardest hit states, according to the Chicago Tribune, with basically 10% of our states being unemployed from 2007 into early 2011. That was a lot hard. Illinois was a lot harder hit than basically any other state in the country. So in order to combat this, Governor Pat Quinn, who became governor in 2008, decided to borrow another $7.8 billion in bonds, and in order to pay for those bonds, this time, instead of Blagojevich, who didn't have a plan, Quinn passed a budget which increased the income tax by 33% temporarily, and that gets to another point. And that gets to another point of how has this impacted the state as a whole. The state is now in $20 billion in debt and $110 billion with unfunded liabilities. According to the Chicago Tribune, the population loss of the whole state as a whole has been continuing ever since the 33% income tax hike in 2011. Illinois has lost the most population of any state in the whole country for the past 5 years as a result of this and other factors. Now, according to CBS News, the state is teetering on bankruptcy. Now, this came to fruition with Governor Rauner becoming governor in 2014. He and House Speaker Mike Madigan got into a fiasco, basically refusing to, with neither of them refusing to compromise on a budget. Illinois ended up not having a budget for 3 of the past 4 years. With that, Illinois' reputation for just paying everything on time has been tossed out the window, and now Illinois has a BBB credit rating according to S&P, which is one step above junk bond, and junk bond would mean that basically no investor would invest in the state. And another impact on the state is Illinois' model state reputation, because Illinois has been seen by many people and according to the U.S. Census Bureau as a model state because it basically models everything that the United States has done for ever since Illinois became a state in 1818. And this is also personified in the fact that a YouGov survey in 2016 found that Illinois was the third least favorable state in the nation, according to its reputation of having corrupt governors like Blagojevich, and because of the debt situations, Illinois is now seen as the 48th most favorable state, or third least popular. This gets to another point. How does this impact individuals or businesses as a whole? So because of the budget impasse, social services throughout the Prairie State have been cut. Basically 90% of the budget, according to the Illinois Department of Health and Human Services, has been cut as a result of no budget being passed. And then people and businesses also want out of the state. This brings to another example of, according to the Southern Illinois Paul Simon poll, 51.2% of Illinois residents want out of the state because of all these given factors. And then also businesses want out because, an example of this is Monica Platt's Bakery in Crystal Lake. Monica Platt has been running this Crystal Lake Bakery for the past 30 years. And as a result of the recent income tax hikes, Monica is looking to relocate to Wisconsin in order to avoid Illinois' taxes. And then in conclusion, Illinois is seen as one of the most successful states. A bunch of Fortune 500 companies are located in Illinois, and it is very sad to see, as an individual, to see Illinois turn into what, according to CNN, is the most messed up state in the United States. Thank you.